Hey fam, with the approach of KSP to early access just around the corner, a couple days out now, I thought it was important to make this video. I thought I just wanted to express some of my concerns and hype for this game that I think we all love and care about. Couple of housekeeping items. I know my camera sucks. It's an old over the counter webcam for it's an over the counter webcam that I've had forever. That we're now using to do this video with. So bear with me if you would. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Ozzy in Space. I have been streaming on Twitch for a while now. I started in KSP. I have more hours in KSP than I do every other game in my entire Steam library combined. So it's not uncommon, actually. For those of you that might be new to the game, it's not uncommon for people to accumulate thousands and thousands and thousands of hours into KSP. So once it gets you, it gets you. So with that said, the things that I'm about to mention, please don't fanboy me, right? I love this game. I get it, right? So I guess we'll start with kind of what has been happening in relation to KSP2 news leading up to this early access release, right? Certainly after KSP2 was announced and then postponed, we started seeing these kind of dev blog videos where they would hype up and kind of tell us about some of the stuff that was happening behind the scenes, some features that were being worked on that were pretty cool. You know, things like multiplayer, interstellar travel, multi-system exploration, colonies, right? Science and career mode, that kind of a thing. All being talked about in these videos leading up to early last year, right? It was right around that time. I think it was spring-ish last year when where Nate Simpson finally had a release date planned for KSP2 that he could share with us, which was Q1 of 2023. Here we are. Now, fast forward to late last year when we finally got a video and we finally found out that KSP2 would be releasing in early access and that all of those bragged about features like multiplayer, interstellar travel, multi-system exploration, colonies, science mode, career mode would not be in the early access version of KSP2. Now, is that disheartening? Yes. Yes, it is, because I think, you know, it's a little misleading, right? It's a little shady to do that. And to not leave, you know, like here's my thing, right? You knew well in advance of that video coming out that all of those features would not be in the final release, and that you would need to put the game into early access, right? You knew well ahead of that. And whether that was, you know, developer and publisher politics happening, I have no idea, right? But regardless, those things are not going to be included, and I find that practice of not telling us until pretty much the last minute a little concerning. So now, on the flip side of that, I think that it is cool that they put a timeline out there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and bring the timeline up on screen, right? It'll be right here. Now, the timeline in itself is cool, and so the timeline itself is cool, and it lays out the order in which, from left to right, that they plan on implementing these features that are not going to be in the day one early access release of KSP2. Now, the interesting piece to note here is that there is no timeline, right? There is no timeline. If you look at their website and the Steam store page, it says to refer, in terms of how long is the game going to be in early access, and it says it will be there as long as it needs to, and to refer to their roadmap for timing. Well, guess what? The roadmap has no timing. Not even a rough estimate, right? I get it, right? Now, the position that I have going into KSP2 is one of cautious optimism, right? I am cautiously optimistic. And the optimism itself comes from the success of KSP1's early access adventure, right? There have been many bridges burned in the early access phase on Steam, right? Things that have become vaporware, right? Games that would have been cool to see through to the end, but were ultimately abandoned by the developers for whatever reason along the way. So KSP2 has my backing, and I am certainly interested in playing it, and I will be playing it, and I will be streaming it, and I am along for the ride, right? As we all are. But I'm also cautiously optimistic for those reasons. So, looking forward to early access in KSP2, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we all end up coming up with in terms of cool stuff. But I just wanted to share my thoughts as we turn the corner any day now for KSP2 early access. So we'll see y'all in space.